Hello everyone! Welcome to the kitchen. You may be thinking that I'm going to cook something and record, but no, today is not cooking video. As you may know, if you subscribe to the channel, I am an artist and I paint with oil paints a lot. Maybe some of you are curious, is it possible to clean a palette with completely dry oil paint? And I want to show you what I'm talking about. Probably I should put trigger warning to all sensitive artists because this is completely a nightmare. This is my palette. I've been using this palette for years and I have not cleaned it. As you can see, this palette has a thick layer of oil paint. And some of you may think that this palette completely ruined, it's impossible to use it. And you are wrong, because when I was studying in university, I learned a trick how to clean this palette. This is why I'm in the kitchen right now, and I want to show you an easy but dangerous way how to clean your palette. Let's begin. If you want to clean your palette, you need to have these things, your completely ruined palettes. Before we begin, a huge warning. If you are a kid and you're watching this video and you think that it would be cool to play with fire, I have to say that you should not do that. It's very dangerous. You can burn down your house, or you can hurt yourself, or you could die in a fire. So don't do that. If you decided that you want to clean palette with dry oil paint using fire, I highly recommend you to do it safely. If you somehow extinguished the gas stove with water, immediately turn off the gas. Don't extinguish electricity with water. It also leads to disaster. Fire spreads very quickly, especially if you have curtains, carpets, or wooden furniture. Be careful with tons of paint that you want to clean. You need old newspapers or just paper. Maybe you were thinking to throw these things away, but this would be useful. This thing. Because if you accidentally set everything on fire, you need to have water. Palette knives. I prefer this knife, and also you need fire. So if you want to clean your palette, you need to heat up the dry oil paint, so it would become more soft and flexible, and it would be easier to erase it from a palette. What I'm doing is I'm taking a palette and trying to heat up the wood of the palette so the paint would be warm too. This is not the best way to do that, because if I would have direct fire, then it would be easier to heat up the dry oil paints and it would be easier to erase them. But when you try to heat up the palette, it takes much more time and effort to do that. But I cannot do that at the kitchen, because if I would try to heat up the oil paint, then all the kitchen would be covered with oil paint, and I didn't want to create the mess. After a dozen minutes of suffering, your palette looks almost clean. Well, I cannot erase these marks of the paint that stained the wood of the palette, but you can see this was before. This is not clean palette with tons of paint. This is after. This is not a bad result. But I have an idea how to make this process easier, so I'm gonna have experiment with this palette and I'll show you what I'm gonna be doing. After trying to heat up the wooden palette, I realized my fire in the gas stove was not strong enough, so I decided to use a lighter. It was still not super soft, it was a little dry, so this is the whole video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this non-efficient, time-consuming and difficult way of cleaning palette was useful. I hope that it may help all the artists around the world who doesn't know about this way of cleaning your palette. In the next videos I'm gonna be drawing or sculpting. I haven't decided yet. I didn't paint in this video because I was not in the mood for drawing, so I decided to make this easy video. And right now I'll start working on a new creative project. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in next videos. Bye.